Tyrannosaurus rex, 12 meters long, 9 tons. The most famous killer that ever lived. For over a century, we called it the king. But the king was never the biggest. Not on land, not in the rivers, and not even close in the open ocean. Hidden across 100 million years of Earth's history were creatures that would have made a Tyrannosaurus rex stop and look up. These are 10 of them, counting up to the largest of them all, and number 1 was never a hunter at all. We begin with a killer that barely beat the king. Tyrannosaurus, the shark-toothed lizard of ancient Africa, 13 meters long, with a skull longer than a grown man and teeth like serrated blades built for slicing, not crushing. It was longer than T-Rex, lighter, faster, and it ruled North Africa 90 million years ago. The king had competition, but this is only the bottom of the ladder. Number 9 didn't just match the king, it outweighed him. Giganotosaurus, from the plains of Argentina, 13 meters of muscle, and by most estimates, heavier than a full-grown T-Rex. A long, low skull, 3-fingered hands instead of 2. This was not a Tyrannosaurus, it was something built on a larger frame entirely, hunting the giant plant eaters of the south. Bigger than the king, and we're still on land. Number 8 is the longest predator ever to walk the earth, Spinosaurus. 15 meters from snout to tail, with a sail on its back as tall as a man and a crocodile's jaws lined with conical teeth. It didn't hunt on land, it hunted in the water, wading the rivers of Cretaceous Africa, snatching fish the size of cars, the longest carnivore that ever lived. But length is not the same as size, and what came next left the land behind completely. Number 7 ruled the same era as the T-Rex, and wasn't a dinosaur at all. Mosasaurus, up to 17 meters of pure ocean predator, a marine reptile, closer to a monitor lizard than to any dinosaur, with 4 paddle-like flippers and a second row of teeth in the roof of its mouth, so nothing it bit ever escaped. While the king stalked the shore, this hunted everything beneath the waves. The land had a king, the ocean had a god. So far, every monster has had a rival its own size. That ends now, because the next 3 creatures didn't compete with the T-Rex. They lived in a different league of size entirely, and the largest of them could have swallowed the king whole. Number 6 is the largest shark that ever existed, Megalodon. Up to 18 meters long and heavier than 10 T-Rex combined, teeth the size of your hand, a bite force strong enough to crush a whale's skull. It never met a dinosaur. Megalodon prowled the oceans millions of years after the asteroid fell, but if the king had ever shared its water, he would barely have reached its fin. The most famous predator on land, outweighed 10 times over by a fish. And here, everything changes. Number 5 is not a predator. It's prey, and it still dwarfed the king. Shantungosaurus, the largest duck-billed dinosaur ever found, 16 meters long, 16 tons, a plant eater that walked the forests of ancient China in enormous herds. It had no claws, no fangs. It didn't need them. It was simply too big to kill easily, and it was the smallest of the giants still to come. Number 4 didn't measure its size in length. It measured it in height. Sauroposeidon, a long-necked titan that could raise its head 18 meters into the air, tall enough to look over a 6-story building. A T-Rex standing at its feet wouldn't have reached its shoulder. It fed on the crowns of trees no other animal could touch in the early Cretaceous of North America. The king hunted in the shadows of giants like this, and they were still getting bigger. Number 3 carries a name that means fears nothing. Dreadnoughtus, 26 meters long and an estimated 30 to 60 tons, one of the most massive land animals we have ever measured from solid bone. A creature so heavy that fully grown, no predator on Earth could have brought it down. Not a Giganotosaurus, not a pack, not the king. It feared nothing, because nothing could touch it. Number 2 is one of the largest animals ever to walk the planet. Patagotitan. 37 meters long, longer than 3 school buses, and weighing as much as 9 African elephants. When a herd of these moved across the Patagonian plains, the ground itself trembled. A T-Rex beside it would have looked like a hatchling next to its parent. Record-breaking, almost unimaginable, and still not the biggest. The largest of them all wasn't a killer. It was a wall of living muscle that the deadliest predator on Earth couldn't even reach. Tyrannosaurus. By many estimates, the largest dinosaur ever discovered, up to 40 meters long and as heavy as 100 tons. A single vertebra stands taller than a person. Its legs were thicker than tree trunks. A T-Rex, the most famous predator that ever lived, wouldn't have reached its knee. Not its head, not its shoulder, its knee. That is what it took to make a king look tiny. Not bigger teeth, not a stronger bite, just sheer impossible size, from a creature that never hunted a thing. 10 giants, one king who was never really the biggest. The T-Rex ruled our imagination for 100 years, but the real giants of the prehistoric world were stranger, older, and far, far larger than the monster on the movie poster. There's a new Chronicle every week, and the creatures only get stranger from here. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.